Welcome back everyone to this Illustrator Basics tutorial. Today we're going to be going over the Warp tool and all the other distortion related effects within Illustrator. So to start off, let's go ahead and create a nice background for things to show up against. Go with a nice gray, like so. You can go with whatever color you like. Then I'm going to click away so I don't have anything selected. Take out my rectangle tool again and choose a nice color. Let's go with red. And I'm just going to draw a square and then take my type tool and just do a simple type letter. Just write my name like so. Then I'll select it and increase the font size. There we go. Now to get to our warp tool, go ahead down here to this one. It's called the width tool. Click and hold, and then you should be able to see the warp tool right there. The warp tool works pretty simply. You just point it over whatever you want to warp. Let's go ahead and lock this background real quick. Control 2 locks the background, because you actually don't have to have anything selected for the warp tool to manipulate it. See, I don't have anything selected, but I can warp this square. So you see, the warp tool basically just takes whatever within that circle you're clicking on and allows you to pull it in different directions. And you just have to click and drag around to do that. You see, I'm moving it down like that, and that's our end result. It's pretty simple when working with shapes. But if I go over here to this text, I can't do anything with it. That's because the warp tool or these distortion tools don't work with text. If you want to distort text, what you're gonna have to do, get your selection tool and select it. And remember, make note of what font you're using, because if you do something with the warp tool and you make something, then you end up having to change what the letters are. You're going to have to remember what that font is. You may want to revisit that in the future. So once you have that selected, go up to type and go down to create outlines, and you see it creates outlines of our letters. So we can select that and it selects the whole thing. We could use the direct selection tool to manipulate the individual anchor points of each letter. So let's go ahead, get our warp tool out. Now you can see the warp tool can now affect our letters. So that's the warp tool. Basically just pulls part of the object in whatever direction you want to go to. So next, let's go ahead and go down to the Twirl tool. So all it does is take whatever you're pointed at within that circle and twirls it in a circle. Now it won't do anything within here because it's all red. No matter how much it twirls, it's just going to be red. But if I would do it towards the edge, you can see it grabs that area and twirls it around. Like so. And the next one is the pucker tool. And the pucker tool just takes those paths and pulls them in towards the center of the circle. If I make like a bigger area of type, it actually helps see it better. And we'll just take and we'll just take and turn that into outlines, and we'll take our pucker tool. You can see it pulls it in closer like that. The next tool is our bloat tool, and it's the exact opposite of the pucker tool. It pushes things away from the center. So if I'm on this side of it, it's pushing that in, but if I'm here, pushes it out. Next tool, the scallop tool, kind of creates like a scalloped edge towards it. It's like the pucker tool, but it's scalloping the edges instead of just making them straight pull in. Next tool, the Crystallize tool. It's the opposite of the scallop tool, so it's like the bloat tool, but with the scalloped edges. And then our final tool is the Wrinkle tool. This one just kind of wrinkles it a little bit, makes it look like you got water on it or it's melting or whatever. Now these tools, some of them have options. When you double click them, they'll bring up the options. You can change the dimensions of the brush, the width of the wrinkle options. So this one's set to just doing vertical wrinkles. You saw when I was working with the edge, it wasn't doing anything here, but it will do it on the vertical side. But if I would change it, I could change the vertical or the horizontal to 100 and the vertical to 0. And now it wrinkles horizontal, but it doesn't wrinkle vertical. And the Twirl Tool, similar options. You could change the angle of it and everything, the intensity of the twirl rate. Well, that's all I have for you for this tutorial. Why don't you keep practicing with these tools? If you found this tutorial useful, click that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.